down with us? Come on.
I think I'm about to go live. Sorry, friends, I'm having some technical difficulties here. About time for you. Bill, I'm sorry, my man. Can y'all see me like this? God, we're having problems. Hold on, I'm going to get this situated. Trying to figure out a way where you guys can see me. My connection's weak. Hey, everybody, for joining my mama, Linda Brooks, Bill Shaw. Can everybody hear me? Hey, Miss Linda Hart, how are you doing? My connection, yes, you are. What are y'all saying yes, you are to? I don't know what you're saying yes, you are. We're going to have to try to set this up somehow, some way, friends. Going in and out. Can you hear me better now? Hey, Tim Dutton, thank you for joining, friend. Got to relocate here. Sparkle, can people hear me better now? I'm sitting out on the back patio. I'm about to get started. Let me get the dog out of here. What's the door lock? What's the door lock? Come on. All right, we're back, folks. All right, sorry about this. Doyle Cox, my man, how are you doing? Sorry about all the problems, everybody. I'm back, I'm live, and it's time for Straight from the Gut with me. GTT, friends, thank you for everybody that's tuned in. Get that dog. Hey, I got a dog. This is one Brittany Renee's dog, the dog we fight about all the time. Lucky Dog, who's out here. You see his crate over there. Charlie, my man, where have you been? We haven't seen you at the diner in a long time, seems like. We're about to get started. Guys, I apologize for being late. Never have done this from the house. And if I didn't have Brittany Renee bailing me out, we wouldn't be doing this tonight. So I would have put this big promotion, me and Sparkle, and it still says my connection's weak, but that ain't going to stop me. We're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving, friends. Mass community. Tim Dutton. I'm going to talk a lot about you tonight, Tim Dutton. I hope you stay on here, my man. Well, for you that don't know me, my name's Tommy Davidson. I go by hashtag GTT or Good Time Tommy. Let's kick it, Stevie Z. You see that dog back there? So, a lot of you do know me, a lot of you may not. If you don't know me, I take full responsibility if you don't, because my job is to meet as many people out there as I possibly can. And if I haven't met you, that's my fault. That's why I'm doing this tonight, is I want to meet more people. That's the whole purpose of this, is to get around more people. And my friends that know me, hey, everybody that's liking this, I really appreciate it. The like, the love. If you would share this, I would greatly appreciate it as well. The purpose of this show is I've had so many people in my life that they've helped me out. Get back, Lucky. So many people in my life have helped me. And I mean, I have pissed away so many opportunities. I'm 43 years old, and you know, for the first 35, 36 years of my life, man, I was very, very, very mediocre. I was below as far as where I should be and where I actually was, whatever that's called. I greatly underperformed where I should have been. And that really leads to unhappiness. That's something that if you ever experience that, you just don't feel good about yourself. So you have to have other outlets to feel better about yourself. For me, it was always having a good time. So from the time I was probably 20 to 35, thank you, Kira. Matt Crane, I got your video. I got to call you tomorrow, buddy. I see you're on here, Matt. I have not forgotten about you. We got to get started. But for my first 35 years, God, I was just pathetic. I was so, I wanted to do good, and what was sad is I was around so many people that were doing good. Doug Danger standing in the shadows. Hey, Mama, my mama's on here. She can talk. We're going to talk about you too, Mama. Hey, Aaron Dabney. I got to let my dog in, man. This guy is going crazy. Sorry, this is our last interruption. So, my first 35 years were so underperforming. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Hey, we're going to have you and Holly over here soon when we get settled in, Aaron. It's a little chilly out here. I'm drinking coffee, if you guys know me. So, I had so many people in my life, like Tim Dutton, John Jones, Scott Nagy, Adam Wright, then Michael Burt. I've had all these people that were they were performing at such a much higher level than me, and I felt like I let them down. This again was the first 35, 36 years of my life, because they all wanted me to do better. You know, whenever we were having these conversations, Tim Dutton, who's one of my best buddies, we had offices side by side, and I remember one day going into Tim, and Tim was a guy that I always looked up to. He had a lot of money. He never seemed to worry. Cool Tim Dutton. And I was in there, and my thinking was, man, I got to grow some assets. Well, Tim, he started asking me questions like, well, hey, are you in any kind of debt? Do you have debt? And I'm like, well, hell yeah, I'm in debt. He's like, well, how much? He was probably thinking a 35-year-old didn't have $14,000 worth of student loans. Ain't that right, Timmy? So Tim made me write out all my list of debts, and like $86,400 later, Tim looked at me, and he looked at me, and I can't tell you what he told me, but me and Tim know each other, and he knows what he told me. He was so disappointed in me. So he gave me this strategy about how I was going to get out of debt. $86,400. I had student loans at 35 years old. 35 years old, owed $14,000. I think I took out $10,000. That's the kind of stuff I want to talk about, because the reason for this show is I have so many people that come up and they want to know more about me because they see what I'm doing today. They see GTT, he's doing this, he's doing that. But I always want to tell them, man, let me tell you where it started. Let me tell you how damn bad things was. At 36 years old, I was a broken man. And I don't know, go get your list. I don't know if anybody's just been broken. I mean, every part of your life broken. Now, a lot of you people that are younger, you may not know what the recession from 2009 through 12, what it did to people that were in the business of whatever it is they're doing. Sales, real estate, insurance, it didn't matter. Well, some of those people probably did well. But for people like me who bought real estate, all my girlfriends are watching on you. Baby, hey, I got to say thank you for everything you've done. I always give big shout outs for my shows, and my girlfriend, hey, my roommate, has done such a great job of getting this house together and allowing me to be me. Cindy Malone, thank you for saying that. But Brittany Renee, I love you. Thank you for everything you do. The purpose of this show is I want to talk about just how damn bad things got for me. When people say, hey, Jennifer, when you come by here to see your girl, whenever people talk about sacrifice, I don't know if they know what extreme sacrifice was, because if it wasn't for Tim Dutton selling that store to new Americans, right, Tim, and then coming to John Jones Real Estate, I don't know if I ever would have got it. Okay. Kira, I got to talk about you too. Katrina, hey, thank you for sharing this, Katrina. But back to just being broken, I'm talking about when Tim, when he made me write out this list, I thought I was doing okay. Hey, Cynthia Martin, neighbor. I thought I was doing okay because I was making okay money. Not good money, but okay money. And I was looking at, I think we had, Tim, Ronnie Martin, Cynthia's husband, was another person. Did you have God in your life? Jeff Schott, thank you for asking that. I will get to that. Danny, thank you, buddy. I am loving this back porch. But Ronnie Martin was another huge influence in my life. That's why I'll never do business with another banker if it ain't Ronnie Martin. But talking about broken, Tim helped me break more. When I looked at that piece of paper and what I had versus what I had going out, I made some changes, and I'm talking about some very inconvenient changes. I'm talking about 35 years old, selling your house and moving in with your mom. Hey, do you think that was fun? It helped me with the ladies. I live with my mama. Danny does do a great job. Danny, I thought he is Daniel. Daniel, you're supposed to call me on Monday. Don't forget that. But, hey, I love seeing all these people on here. So many people are influential in my life. But I moved in with my mom. And I didn't care at that point because, Jeff Schott, you just asked something. Whenever I was first going through this broken spirit, everything about me was broken. No confidence. I felt like I had no skills, really nothing to give other than my sense of humor. At about 35 years old, I was going through I got tangled up with this girl, and it was just awful. My life was spiraling out of control. And Tony Woodall, who is he's actually one of my he is my spiritual mentor. Tony Woodall came out to where I was working one day, and he started asking me questions. Again, I'm 35 years old. I grew up with a single mom. My dad passed away at an early age, so my mom was all I had. My mom and my grandmother, that was all I had. So whenever you don't have a father figure, there's just things that you're not going to have. You're just going to have a void there. And Tony was explaining these things to me, and just because he was explaining these things to me, that did not fill the void. He put me in a position to where I had to look at everything out here that I was looking at. Everything I was looking at was external, and Tony taught me that, hey, everything you need is internal. And I really didn't understand what he meant by that. So we started doing analogies, and he made it very simple because I'm a very simple thinker. I can't comprehend complicated things very well. So he talked about a tree and how a tree has to grow from within. Everything grows from within. And he was asking me about what I wanted out of my life, and everything I wanted at this time was something that was external. Everything I wanted was external. And when Tony was talking about this stuff, I wish you were on here, Tony Woodall, because you are one of the most impactful people in my life. Whenever we started talking about this, and I'm the type of person, you can ask Tim Dutton or Ronnie Martin, or Michael Burt, whenever I want to learn something, man, I become a sponge. It becomes my passion. It becomes everything to me. And so, of course, I started going to church. But during this time, Jeff Schott, I'm talking about your question. During this time of brokenness, man, I was losing everything. I remember I went to lunch one day, and Ronnie Martin, who was a guy I've always looked up to, I hope this connection stays strong. Ronnie is he's a banker who I think is the best banker, but he's also a friend. He's somebody that I've known You have more than you know to give us. Keep going. Thank you, Jeff Schott. Well, I remember I go to Old Chicago, and Ronnie just looks at me. He's like, man, I saw your name in the paper. And he wasn't talking about for good things. Back in the day when you're going through foreclosures, your name would pop up. Your name would have to go through the foreclosure things in the paper, and I had several pieces of real estate. I never did lose any of the real estate, but I flirted with it many times. And the first time it happened and I had to encounter Ronnie, I was so embarrassed. I mean, I was humiliated. And that's when these conversations with Tony Woodall really helped me understand, you know what, it really doesn't matter. I know these people, they're thinking different of me, but everything I needed was all right here. It was all internal. And I grew from that. And it takes a long time to grow inner strength. For me, it started about 36 years old. I'm 43 years old now. I mean, it's taken that long. I mean, it took a long time. And I wish you were on here, Brother Woodall. So, I like sharing my story. And I like going back to those days. I remember one day, John Jones, who is my mentor, he's my hero, he's my guy. And he's been that way since I was 14 years old, probably younger than that when he was a football player at Riverdale High School. He was just a guy I looked up to. When I came to work for John, he recruited me. I was a very half-ass average stockbroker. I was below average. I was terrible. Got fired. I got fired from a couple jobs. And John told me one day, man, you ought to just come sell real estate. And I remember talking to a friend of mine, and he was telling me what John was offering me. And we were both very low-level performers. And I'm like, man, I think I'm going to do it. And I came in, and luckily we had some great people on our team back then. We had some very, very high producers. John Jones at this time was the first person who started doing teams in Murfreesboro. John Jones was the first guy to do a real estate team. John Jones, his numbers back then were so phenomenal. And we had phenomenal people. And I had an okay first year. And I had an okay second. Each year kept getting a little bit better. But one year I got off track. And I'm talking about these years were not great years for me. Honestly, I think I was probably, some of those years were probably maybe 50,000, 75,000. Then one year is 94,000. Well, I remember one time I was always sharing these dreams, huge dreams with John, and he was so disappointed in me because I had a very, very, very below average year. He's like, man, you're never going to get where you want to making $53,000 a year. And man, that was such a eye-opening, truthful. It hurt my feelings, but man, it challenged me. It didn't force me to get better. I still wasn't getting better. I wasn't actually getting better until, I don't feel like I started getting better until 2012, 2013. But what I'm getting at, I mean, this may sound like a beat-up fest, but I just want people to know that I really want to talk back to my 30-year-old self. If I could tell me today at 43 what I would do at 30 years old, that's kind of that's what I'm talking about right now. It's not really me just beating up myself. I don't want it to sound like that because I'm one of the happiest people you're ever going to meet. I'm good time. Tommy, maybe you should have said this isn't your bucket, your cup of tea. Matt and Kira Sloan, Kira, thank you for posting, but they're like my extended family. I remember being so broke during probably 2009 or 10. She would take me in, she would feed me dinner. I mean, I'd go there and eat. They're living in an apartment back in those days. But having great friends. Jolene, thank you for joining Shaq Adams. Jolene Adams was a huge part of my transformation. Huge part. She was a Friends on Friday last year. Thank you for joining, Jolene. But if I could go back and tell myself some things at 30 years old, this is what they would be. Came back strong, friend. Thank you. I would get very, very good at what I do. Whatever it is you do, I would get very good. How many people on here right now know why you do what you do? Everybody always they always start with what they do. How many people know why you do it? How many of you know why you do something that has nothing to do with what you're doing? Why I do what I do has nothing to do with what I do. I'll explain that. But if I could go back and tell myself at 30, I would also talk about the dangers. Jason Lee Gully, the arm wrestling realtor. I'm watching you, buddy. You're doing a good job promoting yourself. If I could go back and tell myself, I would avoid anything with depreciation on it. And what I mean by that, no depreciating assets. I would not spend money on cars. I would not do anything where I was borrowing money and I had to pay it back. I would avoid that. And this is going to sound very controversial, but if I'm 18, 19 years old, I'm not taking out student loan debt to go to college. I'm going to either find a way to go or I'm just not going to go. Or maybe I'm going to go get a job and maybe they'll pay for it. But I feel like families have been tricked. Parents are embarrassed if their kids don't go to school. But I mean, they're paying so much to go to school, and they're giving kids loans, and the parents may even be co-signing, and the wages that they make, it's not going up. Student loan tuition is outperforming salaries. I mean, that's insane. The other thing I would do is I would do what I did, and that's I'd get a mentor. Luckily for me, I get to go to work every day with my hero. I get to be involved in conversations. I was involved in conversations early in my career that helped me expedite my learning curve. So another thing I want to give back to everybody is I want to be people's school is great, but it's a lot of situations to make more money not needing it. I agree, Brittany Renee. Hey, you must be in this house somewhere watching me right now, Brittany Renee. But the fastest way to expedite your learning curve is to get around others. For me, I had some very influential people, and all this really started to click for me in 2009. John Jones, hey, cousin Tammy, thank you for joining. John Jones hired this little bitty Andrea Kane, how you doing, girl? Andrea, I'm sorry. But John Jones hired this little bitty former Riverdale High School women's basketball coach. He did win a state championship. He did do that. He came over, and I think Michael Burt was he was probably the first person. You have a beautiful girlfriend. You have great work ethic. You should keep going. Thank you, Jeff Schott. Great advice. Avoid debt. That's right, Jenny Gale. You got to avoid debt like you tell people to avoid Taco Bell. It's about the same thing. But John Jones brought in Michael Burt. Me and Michael Burt had a relationship. We were friends from afar. He came in, and he was somebody. John brought him in. We were probably Michael's first real client. Old South was right there. But John, when he brought him in, we would have these meetings. And Michael had these concepts that I just really bought into. So if John would have never brought in, Charlie's Bell Road. Thank you, John. John, I've been talking about you. Every day I get to come in and work with my hero, my mentor since I was 14 years old. I don't know how many people can say they get to go to work every day and be around their hero. Maybe little kids can say that about their husband, and I know I don't tell you enough about how much you mean to me. When I do tell you, I think you throw the card away. I'm just kidding. But everybody, you do need to get a mentor, and I would. Say what? I don't know. It may be back on. Hey, am I back on here, folks? I've got to come inside. It's going to be kind of loud in here, but I think I was talking about John Jones. I don't know if you're still on here, John Jones, but John Jones brought in Michael Burt. Your broadcast is messing up. Is everybody still here? Hey, will you, Brittany Renee, will you bring me that from outside, please? So John brought in Michael Burt, and Michael Burt was really my first experience of dealing with a coach. He was the first person that started adding structures, and man, I bought into what he was saying so much. Me and Michael Burt quickly became best friends. So much better. Upgrade your wife. Man, I've got the most upgraded thing they can give you. But Michael Burt became one of my best friends. And I don't know what would have happened if I didn't have Michael Burt come in. I know people probably get sick of how often I talk about the little guy, our pictures and the time we spend together. But John brought him in, and then Michael started introducing me to other things. And the foundation was built for my learning, where I started reaching out to people like Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk. These people played such an instrumental part of my life that I think it was the back porch of Friend with Connections router that's upstairs. Sorry, if you got any questions or want me to go back to anything I do, I want to keep going back, but I'm just trying to share my journey with where I'm at today. As you got, for the people that just, if you join back on here, my name's Good Time Tommy, hashtag GTT. Thomas C. Davidson is what my Facebook is. I'm a local real estate person, and I've got a passion for helping people because I've had so many people in my life help me get an extender. Hey, John, I can't believe you're still on. How many people, please say something if you have heard or seen any of the videos where I always give love back to John C. Jones, where I'm always talking about how I can't do it without him. The foremost real estate expert in this town. But the reason why I do this show is I've had a lot of people reach out to me where they see me in the gym or they call me and they want a mentor. And I've had so many mentors in my life. I have let so many of my mentors down because I've half-assed my life so long. And if you're in a similar situation, I want to help you, and I want you to understand that getting better is a journey. You know, you don't just make a decision and say, hey, I'm right here today and I want to be right there. It takes a while. For me, it's been since I was 35, 36 years old when I was a completely broken person, 100% broken. And I did develop a relationship with a big guy upstairs to help me get through a lot of things. And Brittany is the best thing you've ever done. Thank you, John. Brian Parker. Hey, man, I love what you're doing, GTT. I'm having to start over at 44. Love to sit and pick your brain. Brian, man, BJ, you can sit down with me anytime, man. I started all over at 36. At 43, man, I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. And I think a lot of people are like that. And I think it all starts with making a decision to get better, making a commitment. I love how you love John Jones. He's never quit you. Is that a Brokeback Mountain reference, Kira? Mom, learn from your mistakes. Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's, started at 42 or 52. I was talking to somebody today. Maybe it's my buddy Joe Hafner, and we were talking about mistakes. You know, I don't know if I've ever done any mistake that I regret where I learned from it. There's mistakes I've done that I regret, of course, but I don't know if I can ever say I regret learning something. And whenever you try something and it fails, you will learn from it. The key thing is just to try things. And I made that decision. Brother Woodall helped me get to that point in my life at about 36 years old where I decided, you know what, everything outside of me, it does not matter. What matters is what's inside of me. And that helped me start taking action. You can't take action if you have any type of fear of failure. a lot of people that were close to me when I was saying, hey, I'm going to start this Good Time Tommy thing, people were like, oh, hold up now. Hold up. You don't need to do that. What if they think this way? What if they think that way? Well, I made a decision. I was only looking for people that believed how I believed. Ain't that right, Brandon Burks? We talked about that today. I want people that want to be around Good Time Tommy. Hey, Jared, how are you doing, friend? How's that drive to Cookeville? I appreciate you joining. But, man, it's never too late. John just posted the founder of McDonald's started at 52 years old. BJ, you're 44 years old, but man, we can still, it does not matter how old you are. All it matters if you're still trying. I mean, I've accomplished so much in the last 3 years. I mean, everybody comes up to me like, I feel like they think I'm a local celebrity. I mean, but everything I've accomplished has really been probably in the last 2 years. I mean, that's how fast this can go. But I do think whenever you're starting to do something, I do think it takes 10,000 hours. It takes 10,000 hours to become great at something, which is roughly 10 years. I've been doing this now about 13,000 hours. I've been doing this about 13, 14 years, all of them with John C. Jones. And I feel like after about 10 years, I really got it. Shave your head, ball tattoo your neck, and sell properties you list on. Good Time Tommy. Change the name, Good Time Tommy. Train to Jeff. I ain't gonna shave my head. I don't know. I don't have any tattoos. That scares me. I'm scared to get stuck with something. But the one thing I want everybody to, if I could go back again to my 30-year-old self, I would tell me to make sure you got to learn to play up. You've got to learn to get around people that are better than you, even if during that time, you may not be compensated the way you want. What you talking about, Nancy Rutherford? Not sure what that means. Tell me what you're talking about, Nancy Rutherford. But too many people are looking at the short side things. You know, for years, people were talking to me about, hey, why are you still working at John Jones Real Estate? You could go over here and you could do this. I don't think I would trade places with anybody that was at John Jones Real Estate that left. I wouldn't trade what I've learned here. Jeff's comment, oh, okay, I thought you were talking about me. But whenever, like, you join a team, you have a mentor. I get to go in somewhere every day where there's somebody that's, they've accomplished everything I want. Creek Spend. But what somebody knows is way more valuable than what they can give you. If that makes sense. So if John Jones can give me knowledge, if he can show me how to do something, that's so much more valuable than him trading some commodity, money. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Kenny Kane, how are you doing? Hey, Jeff is probably intoxicated. Hey, let's not start insulting. Help your young cousin be his mentor. Are you talking about Andrew? I forgot to respond to Andrew. Tammy, I apologize. But if you're younger, I'm really wanting to help the people that are roughly 30 years old that are lost. Because I was lost. Damn, John Jones, how lost was I? How many times did you almost give up on me? But commit, it all starts with a commitment. It starts with making a decision that I'm going to get better. And then discipline. You know, it all starts with making that commitment. Ed Hardy, we're talking about Andrew. But you've got to make a commitment at some point. For me, if we're going to expound on where I'm at today, my purpose, let's talk about why you do something. Whenever I ask a lot of real estate people, I was lost. Andrew, well, we need to talk to Andrew about what he needs to do, Tammy. But my purpose is not selling real estate. That ain't why I do it. And a lot of times whenever I'm asking people, Some are lost in their 40s. Jimbo, I know, buddy. I was lost at 36. I was lost and I was broken at 36. But I didn't give up. Danielle Nato, hey, of course you can sign up. But it's okay. I was, again, nobody on here was any more lost or broken than I was at 36 years old. I can guarantee. Hell, I live with my mom. I moved in with my mom at 36 years old. How many people do that? You know, that was my plan. John never gave up on you. He knew you were better. He did, Mom. And it was because of people like John. And that's why I'm telling you, if you're lost out there, learn to play up. Go out there and find somebody that's in a position where you want to get to. That's right, Miss Linda. Oh, hey, John, I can't believe you've been on here this long. I don't know who else. Chaz. More meatloaf. You're successful. You do have to do the work, Nancy Rutherford, but there's ways you can expedite that curve. And hey, Eric Kinsley, you can expedite your learning curve by getting around people that have already accomplished. I think by joining a real estate team, for example, that will expedite your learning curve by half. I would not be where I'm at right now. It would have taken me 10 years to get where I was after 5 years with John. Don't get scared, get better. Hey, Jason, my advocate, I appreciate you, buddy. Hey, Travis Smith, thank you for joining, my man. But no matter how bad your circumstance is, I'm living proof. I promise you. Ask the people that knew me. We want lucky. Y'all can have lucky. Ask the people that are around me, man. I was very mediocre. I was lazy. I don't mind saying that because, you know, hey, Tammy Lane Coleman, I'm going to tell you why I was lazy. Because I was selling real estate for the wrong reason. I was motivated by money. I was talking about money. I was always talking about money during my time from 30 to 33. I was always talking about money. That's what I thought I wanted. But money wasn't really big enough for me to get to where I wanted to get. Okay, the weatherman in the house. Thank you, weatherman. And what I'm saying, some people may say you got to chase money. Well, man, I found my dream 2 years ago. I want to build a brand. I want to build Good Time Tommy. I want to build #GTT. So what does that mean? It means I've got to be successful in real estate for that brand to mean anything. If I'm just walking around and saying I'm Good Time Tommy, I'm #GTT, but I don't have something to back that up, it's worthless. So whenever I see somebody that's a competitor and they're trying to build a brand or they're doing something like I want to, I get very competitive over that. I found my purpose. My purpose was it wasn't to go out and make money. That's what I thought it was. I want money. I want X amount of dollars. But what I have found is the only reason why I want money now is because I want to have options. I want to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. That's why I want money. And that means if I want to tell Brittany we're going to Florida for 2 weeks, and if we want to do that, we're going to do it. So if why you do something is for money, it's probably more than likely it's going to let you down, and it's probably not going to drive you enough to get you to the point where you want to be. For me, I want to be known as Murfreesboro's foremost digital authority on real estate. What I mean by that is anytime somebody's thinking about social media in Murfreesboro, I really want to be the guy they're thinking about. Hey, Matt Sargent. How are you doing, fella? So you got to find a purpose. You got to find a purpose that's bigger than yourself. It's bigger than any type of just payout of money. So when I started Good Time Tommy a few years ago, there was a lot of people that didn't like it. They thought I was sending the wrong message. And that was one thing that challenged me to prove them wrong. And I knew if I'm going to go around here and I'm going to call myself Good Time Tommy and I want to be taken serious, I had to find a way to add credibility to that brand. And for me, it was just doing more real estate transactions. Do we have any questions? Am I being clear on what I'm talking about? Everybody seems to be talking about my girlfriend's dog or my cousin, or where do you go, John C. Jones? Hey, he is a good man, a really good man, and you're drinking beer. Jeff Shaw, where are you nowadays? Why don't we see you around anymore? Where you been? But I appreciate you being on here. Crystal Queer. Brittany's got a speech impediment. Does anybody have any questions? I want to answer any kind of questions, but if you've just joined, I'm Good Time Tommy, hashtag GTT. I want to help educate people that are struggling because I was a struggler. As a matter of fact, I beat mediocrity. I beat it, though, with having better people around me. I beat it by hiring a coach. I beat it by having more mentors in my life. I think it's extremely hard to do this a lot. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I do think that it's going to be extremely challenging for you to do this on your own. GT or not, they are still talking about you. Build that brand and long. You know, when I was a kid, I can't do it without Weatherman. When I was a kid, I always loved them Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Now Ann Long, if y'all don't know this, former Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. I've seen her in her uniform. But yeah, to me, it's very important to build that brand. And I don't want to sound offensive, but I really had to lose any good. I was not going to be held hostage by someone having a good opinion of me, if that makes sense. And that's just what you've got to get to. That's a mindset. But growing up down here in the South, most people are going to tell you not to do it that way. They're going to tell you not to be offensive. They're going to tell you to watch what you say. And sometimes I get on here and I say some crazy things. Sometimes I cuss. Sometimes I do things. But I'm going to tell you, I am who I am. I believe in being very authentic, very genuine, very transparent. Thank you for sharing this. The ability to educate others separates those. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that, man. I think most people want to be educated. They want to hear stories where somebody was a half-assed dude that had a lot of fun, that was lazy, that wasn't very smart. My success is not where I'm at right now, because there's a lot more people that are a lot more successful than me. I've got a lot of friends that are multi-millionaires. My success is how screwed up I was for most of my life. And when I say that, I wasn't in trouble or anything like that. I'm talking about where I performed versus where I should have been performing. I underperformed my potential for so long. And I want to help people understand that it's okay. Mama, what are you saying? You have a big heart and I raised you to be a hard worker and I respect to get your... Well, I did get my education, but luckily back when I went to college, I could work for Kenny Jones throughout the year and still pay for college. As a affordable. I agree with you from being... Nancy, people definitely sugarcoat things. Katrina in our office, she's from Louisiana. She really struggles with how direct she wants to be. She doesn't mean to be offensive, but where she's from, that's just the way we talk, she says. But I don't know anybody that's got a bigger heart than Katrina Waldrop. If I asked Katrina right now to take me to Chattanooga, she'd load me up and she'd take me down there. I think she'd do that for anybody. You did good, Linda. I appreciate you raising such an amazing man. All right, that's enough of talking about what a great... How long have we been going? I don't even know with this connection, but I love doing this. I love telling my story and giving inspiration to other people, because I was a very average student. I was very average at everything that I did. I guess after being around certain people, they started Here's another thing I do want to talk about because this is the truth. Jeff Shot, just think I spent 30 minutes listening to you. Good job. Hey, thank you, Jeff Shot. The people that you're being influenced, and when I say influence, that's the people that you're spending time with, you're learning from, you're talking, you're collaborating with these people. The people that you're spending the most time with, whether it's good or bad, you're gonna produce what you're hearing. You're gonna produce what you're thinking. Hey, I didn't get student loans to my last semester. Linda Brooks. I was going to invest in a bank. One of my best friend's dad, Will Rowland, he was one of my best friends. His dad was starting a bank here in Murfreesboro, Bank of Murfreesboro. And I took out student loans to invest in the bank. And I think we drank most of that money, all $10,000 of that back in the days. Drink or drown, maybe went on a trip. That was a good time, Tommy. Lakin Hibben, how you doing? Hey, we miss you, Lakin. We could teach you a thing or two. Stephanie Schwab, my cousin. Hey, my German cousin. Hello. How are you? Thank you for joining. I don't know what time is it. I feel like I've been going almost an hour. Hope Pitts, you send me the sweetest text. You and sweet Lee Ann need to, Aunt Lee, y'all need to come over and do a Real Estate 101. I got more to teach. You need to come over there. That would have been a good investment. What would have been a good investment? You were investing in that bank? Sometimes we don't follow through with our plans. Sometimes we do things that we think we're stupid. But you know, all those things I went through, now I get the reward of the knowledge, knowing that that was stupid. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. I wish I could get one of my best friends, Scott Nagy, on here, and you could hear his story. He was the guy that a lot of my friends in Murfreesboro know him. He started Reliant Realty, and you should just hear how far he went. Thank you, Shane Ray. You call me anytime. I'm sorry it took so long to call you back. I do want to come to Savannah when they turn that river green. But my buddy Scott Nagy, you should just hear his story, who now lives on 30A in Seagrove, Florida, in like a $2 million house. And just hear what his life was like, you know, whenever he had to borrow money just to make, and this happened like years before the big payout. It was crazy that he almost didn't make it. But you can't listen. You got to tune people out. Again, like Tony Woodall said, everything is internal. And if it's something that you believe, if it's something you're passionate about, you can't give up. You can't be a quitter. You can't quit, friends. But make sure what you're chasing will get you there. Chasing money won't get you there. There's got to be a bigger purpose for what you're wanting to get than money. You know, a purpose for some is their kids. Dan Elam. Dan he's one of the people that I played up to. Andy Steven, where you been, friend? By the time you get on here, we can't do this without you, buddy. Dan the man. But people like Dan Elam were somebody that I'm late to the party. Dan, I've been going a long time, and I can't go outside on my patio because of the connection. It's weak. But Dan, I want to tell you in front of all these people, I think we got about 5,000 people on here right now. Dan always took a lot of time. He would always answer my questions. And what I'm saying earlier about a great mentor can help expedite that learning curve. See you in the morning. Come on, Andy. A lot of people don't like to see people being successful. They're jealous. That may be true, Nancy Relford. But Dan, thank you for always taking time. The one thing Dan Elam does, I'm going to give you a big plug here, Dan, is you give time to people whenever you're with them. And that is a very unique trait where whenever I'm with you, you don't look at your cell phone. I mean, you're just totally in the moment with me. Hey, I appreciate those likes, whoever's doing that. So anybody out there that wants to learn about real estate, I would tell you, go talk to Dan Elam. he is definitely one of the, hey, Matt Spooner, go Patriots. Excuse me, had a lot of dinner tonight. But Dan is one of the very best when it comes to educating people. He's got systems. Him and Joe they're going to take a lot of agents to a higher level if they will listen. Hey, I love you, Mama, and Douglas, Doug Danger. We are hiring. Dan's going to get selective on who he's going to hire because a lot of people are going to want to go over there. But if you're wanting to learn systems, if you're wanting to learn structures, if you're wanting to learn how to sell, you need to call Dan Elam. Dan's taught me, out of everybody in real estate, of course, John's first, but Dan Elam, you're probably second. You ought to tell people that. GTT said that. Any other questions? I think I've gone. And I apologize about how spotty this reception's been. It's the first time we just got in this house, and it's been a little bit unpredictable, I guess we could say. Any other questions? But I am going to keep doing this every Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Hope you did learn a lot from Joe Hafner. You know, thanks for the shout out. I do want to say this about Joe Hafner, and I always, this again was at a time where I just didn't have the ability to comprehend stuff. Joe Hafner taught me about vision, and I'm still learning about vision. You know, I've got people that work with me on the team, and it's so important for those people to understand where I want us to go. The leaders got to give. Thank you, Travis. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, you need to get over here. But Joe Hafner was somebody. First off, Joe Hafner is one of the smartest people I know. Dan, I'd appreciate it if you let him know I'm talking about him. But Joe would talk about visions, and I didn't really know what he was talking about, and I really didn't think it mattered. But now, whenever I see him around people that are, and I don't like to say people work for me because I think we do this together. We're all in it together. They want to know, well, where are we going? Where do you see the company going? What is your vision? You've got to have a crystal clear vision. Rod Key, I'll see you in the morning. My guy, my trainer. The guy that gets my body. My mind's got to get ready for what my body's going to do tomorrow. But Joe, I wish you're on here. I know you got an obligation tonight. I see a lot of Brittany and Kira going back and forth, Nicholas. But before I shut down, I want to share just a few things. I want to go back over what the purpose of the video is. I want you to know who I am. I'm Tommy Davidson, but it does take a village, Nancy. I've developed a brand. It's called GTT, hashtag GTT, Good Time Tommy. And to be honest, I've been a half-ass guy for most of my life. No commitments, no honored commitments. And when I say no honored commitments, I'm not talking about relationships. I'm talking about I couldn't keep commitments to myself. I couldn't say I'm going to do this and see it through to its conclusion. I underperformed up until the time I was probably 40 years old in my life. I started, see you at the gym tomorrow, Nancy. So it's okay. But the first thing you got to do is you got to admit, man, I'm half-assed. I suck. What am I going to do to make these changes? I was that guy. You know, I really thought my story was a lot more rosy than it actually was. It really was not. I was not heading in the place I thought until my buddy Tim Dutton shared some light on me. Get a mentor. Get around people that are going to help you. And whenever people, the one thing I've told Dan Elam is, I don't know if he's still on here or not, but whenever Dan tells me something in the past, I'll probably thought, man, I ain't got to do that. But he's been so right. I love you too, Granny. I'll get you a t-shirt. But whenever people have done something that you want to do, and they're giving you time, and they're telling you what to do, this is what I always did. I always came up with a way, hey, I can do it better. I can do it easier. I don't have to do it that way. That way won't work for me. It worked for you. Well, what I have found is those people are telling you, They're telling you what you really need to do. And the best thing you can do, I appreciate those like. It looks like my girlfriend's the only one that's liking this, and my mom, of course. But when people are ahead of you, whenever they've done more than you and they're in your field and they're saying this is what you need to do, the best advice I can give you in that regard is do not second guess. Do not second guess. Do not change what they're trying to tell you. Just do it. Feel, felt, found. That's right, Dan. The best thing I could do if I could go all over, if I could do this all over again, is I would just go get around people like you, Dan. I get around people that were at a much higher level than me, and I would just do exactly what you told me. Hey, I appreciate everybody that's liking this. And if you've got any questions about anything that I've done, again, hey, half-ass guy for most of my life. I got involved with one man, Michael Burt, who changed everything. And I don't know if he's on here, but Michael Burt was the one guy that got me on the right track. Since then, he's helped me reach out to other people. Other people have helped me move what I want to another level. Hey, Glen Street, we can't do this house without you, buddy. Thank you for everything you did. If anybody's wanting to move over to Puckett Station, Glen Street's the guy you got to talk to get in over here. You can't get in Puckett Station without getting through Glen Street's admission. Ain't that right, Glenn? Ain't that right, kid? Well, thank you. Just do it, Nike brand. Hey, Jeff Shaw, you are right about one thing. Too many people try to come up with something to make it easier, but a lot of times the best thing you can do is just take action. You can just do something. Even if it doesn't work, there's so many things you take away from failure. You know, me going into debt, me doing stupid things financially, it's given me a whole new perspective. I don't know how I would be today if, hey, my guy, Sean Hackison, by the time you get on here, if anybody has not been to the Alley on Main, I'm supposed to give away a free gift card. I forgot all about that. But my buddy Sean Hackison, he's got a great story. I'm going to talk about Massive Action next, Dan. But Sean, I wish more people knew your story. Nina Lampley. Nina, I saw your numbers up there in Nashville, the Nashville Roots Gang. So impressed by the production you guys have done up there. Are you? Man, you've done phenomenal. And we loved your house, by the way. But Massive Action is so important. I believe action will get you to a certain point. In real estate, I think around here you can do so many deals just by effort. Really, one person could go out there and they can easily do 40 deals just by effort. After 40 deals, we're probably looking at a strategy problem. You're going to have to develop strategy, but the most important thing is action. Good time, Tommy. That was just an action. I thought about it, and I don't wait for something to get perfectly done. It's more important to do it. I think it's very important just to make a decision, say, hey, I'm going to do this, and if it sucks, it sucks. Let's figure it out. But don't think about this. Think about Apple. Think about an iPhone. When the iPhone 42 comes out, do you think it's going to be perfect? They're going to put this thing out there, and then they're going to call you back and say, hey, we got to fix this or we got to fix that. Don't wait till something's perfect. If you wait, today's game, it's about speed. And the fast eat the slow. Grant Cardone says the practice makes perfect. 10,000 hours, Hope. That's my belief. It takes 10,000 hours to get great at something. Hey, Jim Dibble. My man, it takes 10,000 hours to become great. That's roughly 10 years of work. For me, I think I probably became very good at what I do after doing, hey, my most liked video I've done so far. Thank you for liking that, Jim Dibble. I think I became very good at what I do after about 10 years. I was about roughly 10,000 hours. So if you're doing something that's not going the way you want, that doesn't mean give up on it. It means you got to make a bigger commitment. Everything starts with a commitment. And for me, what I try to do is I want to be very good at at sales. I want to be very good at branding Good Time Tommy and what that means. A lot of people may think that's just me partying, but man, that's just who I am. I always want to have fun. I always want to laugh. Whoever liked that, I appreciate it. Looks like my dog is going crazy. I feel like I'm about to lose my voice. I think we've been doing this about an hour, but I've really enjoyed this, and I hope everybody will continue to watch this on Thursdays. And what I want to talk about is transformations, where at 35 years old, love you, wish you for the best. Thank you, Mom, I love you. You're back on here, Mom, it looks like. Christy Carr, I hope you're doing well, my cousin, Christy. But it does not matter. I'm going to talk every Thursday night about it doesn't matter where you are right now. That situation is only temporary. If you make a commitment to change it, you can do it. I'm living proof. I ask a super sis. How long did it take her, Dan Elam? It 15 years. Dan, I know I feel like I'm just now good. Hey, Kim Hart, thank you for joining. Travis, what started my transformation and coming out of my shell? Again, I'm going to give Michael Burt credit for that. Michael Burt, but this guy's not on it. Colby Juvenville was the guy that helped me, and Brock Patterson. I wish they were on here. They were two guys that told me it was fine to be authentic and be who you are. And that got me thinking about, you know what? Why am I going to try to tell people something that I'm not? How can I lie to myself? How can I act like I'm this way, but I'm really not that way? That's lying to me. So I made a commitment to be who I am and tell the world that this is who I am. And it got easier when I got a clear position. Good Time Tommy. Good Time Tommy's not been around very long. I don't even know if it's been around 2 years. It has not been around very long at all. And look at the attention that it's gotten. Some people don't like it. Some people think I'm obnoxious. A lot of people are wrong. They think I'm narcissistic, but I'm far from that. Clicked you. She said, Mama Tommy D is FaceTiming you. I'm not FaceTiming you, but I'm glad you're on here, Kim Hart. We can't do this show without you. But I made a commitment to get more attention. Be real. Well, Dan, it's how real do you want to be? And the one thing I appreciate is when people ask Stephen Weathers, well, man, how is Tommy? Stephen always tells them, just like you see on here, I want to be this. If I will say some cuss words, or I will talk about maybe I went somewhere and I had a drink, but I don't do anything in any type of extreme, but I'm going to be me because I think that's who people want. Genuine, my friend. Hey, let's get back on you, Sean Atkinson, my favorite restaurateur, if that's the correct word. Whenever you go to the Alley on Main, I hear so many people say this. Either Sean or his wife Christy walks up and says, hey, it's like a neighborhood local feel at the Alley on Main. If it's important to you to go to a restaurant where you feel appreciated, where it's like going to your family's house, man, the Alley on Main. That's why people ask me, man, does the Alley on Main pay you to say so much stuff about them? No, they don't. But I don't want that. I want the value. Whenever Sean sees me, he talks to me. If I see him in the gym, he talks to me. Kira Sloan's back on here. Thank you for coming back on here, Kira. Hey, my family. But hey, I want to give a shout out to Alley on Main. You need to get up there. It is the best place to go in Murfreesboro when it comes to the experience, the food. Ben Wood, how are you doing, my man? Ben, if you just got on here, the people that are just getting back, I'm going to keep going, I guess, because I'm talking about my transformation. And Ben, you're a little bit younger than me, but I'm 43. I've been pretty much a half-ass most of my life. And, I want to give back because so many people have given to me that I feel like it's my duty, it's my responsibility to help people that maybe right now they don't feel good about themselves, because for so long I know how that felt. But let me tell you something. Pick a mentor. Here's something else today, and I'm starting to get, hey, who didn't like me? Who's crying? Today, with YouTube, the internet, man, you can identify who you want to be your mentor. For me, Grant Cardone. If any of you people out there want high energy, a bold person, Grant Cardone was the guy for me. Roy Frazier, my insurance guy. I've been on here, Roy. You'd be impressed. I haven't even said any bad, maybe a bad word or two, but not many. But Roy, we need to get you on our show, Real Estate 101, because we've had so many insurance problems that I wasn't aware of, like the other morning at breakfast. I didn't even know your policy on insurance, homeowners insurance, if you no longer lived in the home. That was something thank you, Roy. But everybody out there in today's time, there's no sense you can't have a mentor. All it takes is time. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of nights I come home and I'm on YouTube watching Grant Cardone for some nights 2 hours. Some people think I'm stupid for what I do, but I mean, I became obsessed with what that guy did. I can't yell anymore because Nicholas is up there, so I got to kind of be quiet. I don't want to wake him up, but I think we're about to have to shut it off because I've actually got to return some phone calls. But everybody that's watched this and everybody that sees this, I want you to know the real me. I want you to know that Adam Wright, my best friend. Hey, thanks for ditching me this weekend, Adam. I want everybody to know who I really am. They see somebody that probably is John Jones says, a shameless self-promoter, but I believe that money follows attention. I believe greatness will go to where the attention is. So I'm showing up late. Tricia Moore, hey GTT, I'm tuning in. What's the top 5 things a new agent can do to be successful? What's the top 5 no-nos? Tricia, thank you for tuning in. I don't care what time you get on here. It may be hard to name 5 things right now. Number 1, I would get around greatness. For me, it was get around John Jones. Dan Elam's another guy. But I work at John Jones Real Estate, so I'm always going to borrow things from John Jones. Some days I go to John to borrow his knowledge. Some day I go to him to borrow his confidence. Some days I go to him to borrow his skills. So what that means is some days he's got to pick me up. Some days he's got to tell me how to solve a problem. Some days he's got to tell me how to say it. That's part of the skill. I don't know, Mom, but hey, I gotta answer this question. Number 1 is a mentor, Tricia. Number 2 is, number 1's commit. Commit to being the best that you can be. Number 2 is get a mentor. Number 3 is you got to do more activities. Number 4, you got to learn. Number 5 is you got to, I hope I keep this signal. I think number 5 is you got to block out all the noise and get focused on what you do. No-nos. Never take advice from somebody that you don't really believe that they're as successful as you want to be. Dan, you do this to me. Dan Elam asks me questions all the time. He makes double or triple the amount of money I make, and I'm like, you're asking me this question. Don't take advice from people that have not achieved what you want or what you've done, excuse me. Number 2, I would say you got to be persistent, or don't give up. I'm sorry, we're on the no-nos now. Don't give up. Number 3, I wouldn't change all the time. Man, there's probably a lot of things I can come up with on no-nos, but let's just focus on what I said I would do. Matt Crane, hey, I'd go out and I'd get a Matt Crane. For me, whenever you want to get more attention, you go out and you get somebody like Matt Crane. So if you see a pickup in our, hey, Greg Wright, wish we could hang out soon. I thought Adam was coming in town. Want to give a shout out to you, Matt Crane. We're about to start up goodtimetommy.com, and I did that. Amberly Pryor. Amberly, how are you doing? Miss Columbia. I'm losing my voice. Natalie Burt. Natalie, I've been sitting here and I've been talking about your husband next Thursday, Hope. I've been talking so much about your husband, he's not on here, who's been, I don't tell him this enough, but Michael Burt has been, if not, he's definitely one of the biggest influences on my career. So Tricia, hiring a coach should be in that top 5. And I think everybody that's been on here that's affiliated with Michael Burt will all say the same thing. When I got a coach, whenever I started paying my own money for a coach, things started changing. And I mean, I've got to give so much credit back to, I do have tools coming, Kira, but so much of my success goes back to Michael Burt coaching me. And every year my coaching bill has gone up, but every year new breakthroughs have happened financially in my business, also my personal life. I mean, things have definitely gotten better. And you gotta have somebody in your life that challenges you. Because a lot of times Michael's telling me things I don't want to say. Coach Burt is strong. See, Roy Frazier says that. Dan says that. Of course, my girlfriend's going to say it. But I would definitely get a coach. If you can't afford a coach, you can afford a coach. So I don't look at that as an excuse. I remember back when I didn't have enough money, I still did it. I just found ways to compensate to make sure Michael Burt got paid first. And it's been a huge payoff. Coaching program's been the biggest success that I've done. The best investment you'll always make is in yourself. And whenever you're paying for yourself to get better, I don't think you'll ever be satisfied. Sean Kaplan, ask him. Sean Kaplan is one of the top mortgage producers in this town. I know how hard he works on getting better. I know his effort. He's in one of the top coaching programs in the country. Michael Burt, you finally joined. Hey, by the time you get on here, I've been going for an hour. I've lost my voice. I've had a weak signal. But Michael Burt, everybody that's watched this, they ask me what I've done to get better. It was hire you. It's been all those hours with you, and what you're doing now with that Total Growth Academy, it's $49 a month. I mean, if you want to invest $49 a month on getting better, you probably have very limited hope on getting better. You probably already quit on yourself and you don't know it. And I hate to sound that offensive. Julie Lewis. How are you doing, Julie Lewis? But I'm a big believer in investing a lot of your personal income back into yourself. Some people, thank you, big guy, our biggest success story is you. Hey, why ain't I out there talking more for you, Michael Burt, if I am your biggest success? Hey, I think we've gone from 23 to 90 deals. We're going to talk about that one day, Michael, but next year it's going to be 150 deals. And again, the deals is not what motivates me. Well, the deals do motivate me. I take that back. Becoming a well-known personality in Murfreesboro, Tennessee is what motivates me. Status sales, I'm going to write a book on that because my goal is to become the foremost digital authority in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I want to be the person people think of whenever they think of social media. Also don't mind being the person people think of to say, man, what a turnaround story. At 35 years old, that guy he was pathetic. Tricia Moore, you need to reach out to Michael Burt. Anybody on here needs to reach out. I mean, Michael Burt will be he's 40 years old. He's been doing this full time for like 7 or 8 years. One day, all you people out here, you're going to regret not taking advantage of a local guy that could become a mega star. We got Mega Monster. Michael Burton's on his way to become a mega star, and it's somebody that you could have reached out and had an influence, or he could have influenced you. 26. My best friend, Adam Wright, I remember back when he was challenging me to make $26,000 a year. That's how pathetic I was. $26K all day. And you know what? Some people that may be what they're making, but that ain't what they should be making. Kathleen, I don't know if people have noticed, but we've hired Kathleen to be our full-time marketing person, and she has done so much this week. I hope everybody has noticed how much content she's putting out there. She's so good at what she does. Mom, are you on here plugging for your husband, Tommy Boy? You've been doing great. But Glenn, that went too fast. Man, I wish I would have had you people on here earlier. But Madison Ray, how are you doing, girl? From Indiana. But for all you people, again, Michael Burt used to give me hell. I'd go over his house and I'd drink a 12-pack of beer and eat pizza, run around. He said I'd run around the pool, jump in the pool. I was so lost. I was so lost, but coaching programs, great people, great friends, great influences have changed all that. Anybody got any questions before I shut it down? I still got to call some people back tonight. Brad Elam. Brad, I wish you'd have gotten on here sooner, fella. Your brother's been on here adding great content. I wonder how many people will have watched this tonight. Is there anybody that has any questions that they'd like to know? And I take pride in answering any question. Brittany Renee, big influence. Brittany Renee is a huge influence. Can do it. Hey, Brittany Renee, I tell everybody I can't do it without them, but Brittany Renee I won't do it without her. She's the one that means too much. I won't do anything without her. Does anybody have any questions? I appreciate the questions that you ask. I appreciate, now again, I don't care what they are. Sorry, man, I'll catch it from the beginning. You don't, hey, Brad, just tune in next Thursday at 7 o'clock. But I want to answer one more question before I get off here. The dog's back in here. Brittany Renee's coming back in here. But again, of the people out there that know me today, it's Good Time Tommy. You know, there's before all this, before what you see, before people that think I'm a success now, there was a huge struggle. Greg Wright has asked Greg, whenever you come into town, I'm going to buy you and Lisa dinner at the Alley on Main because I love it. What was the one moment that you decided to make a change? Man, this is going to probably sound cheesy, but when me and Michael Burt became so close, I felt like I owed it to Michael to become better. You know, it wasn't something where he was challenging me. I just felt like, man, hey, I gotta be better for my friends. And I got around different people. And I felt like I owed it to him. Felt like I owed it to Michael, to Tim Dutton, to John Jones. There was these other people in my life that was investing in me, Greg. And I felt like, man, I gotta stop letting these people down. These people they're expecting more from me. So I'm a big believer that whoever you get around, whether they're good or bad, they're going to influence you. They're going to influence you in the direction they're headed. And because of Michael, I've become a huge student on learning. You know, the foundation was set in 2009 when Michael came over there, Greg. He was the guy that introduced me to getting better. You know, whenever you get into a coaching program, it's not just what he's teaching you. I would have never known Grant Cardone if it weren't for Michael Burt, he was on Michael's radio show. So for me, Greg, and hey, you need to be in Monster. You need to stay in Monster Producer, Greg. My first year, I mean, the results were. You know, the results were okay, but I've been in the business a while. So the results were really up to me. So like Coach is saying, you got to learn how to play up. You got to be around people that expect more out of you. I mean, I had a lot of friends that didn't expect very much out of me. My friends back in the day expected me to go get drunk, chase women. That's what their expectations were for me. And then you get friends like Coach Burt, Tim Dutton, Their expectations for me were what I wanted to achieve in the business world, in my new professional world, who I am. So your friends, I'm telling you, your friends will influence you. Your friends are your GPS to where you're going. And for a long time, I fought that because I had a lot of buddies that what they wanted to do was not really where I wanted to go, but at the time I was going there. So I mean, it wasn't their fault. We were all just lost together. Man, we were just lost. We were just lost, no direction. So I had to get around people that knew a better blueprint. Coach Burt knew a better blueprint for where I needed to go. He had things that could tell me, this is where you need to go. Brittany, are you back on here? Hey, Roger Sargent. How are you doing, friend? But guys, I think I've been going like an hour and 20 minutes. I didn't know how long this would go, but I'm going to do this every Thursday night. And however long people are on here and however long they ask me questions, I'm going to answer them. But again, I want people to know that two Tommies, Good Time Tommy and Big Time Tommy, fun with top-notch skill. I can't see all there. I'm working 14 hours. Brad Elam, I want to say this about you, dude. You've got the effort part down, man. You're working so hard. The next thing you've got to do, Brad, is you've got to turn to structure. I remember Coach Burt clear as day talking about what he called the ceiling of complexity. I was going to be able to go from here to here. And until something changed, I was never going to get through that ceiling of complexity. I wasn't going to have that breakthrough until something changed. What was my change? I hired Katrina. When Katrina came in. Thank you, Glenn Street. Buddy, you tune in here. We're practically neighbors. But Brad, it's okay, Brad. Brad Elam is a monster. Brad, the next thing you need to do is you need to go hire Coach Burt. I know you got access to him. But you need more access to him. You need more access to ways to improve what you're doing because you're going to work yourself to death. Again, effort's going to get you so far, and then you got to have strategy. You got to have different strategy to get you to where you want to go. Mama, good night. I love you. I'll call you tomorrow. We're about to tune in. Hey, my mom represents like all my likes. I appreciate you liking everything. But next Thursday, we're going to come back. And again, I'm not ashamed to tell my story about what a screw up I was for so long. But if I can overcome mediocrity, everybody on here can overcome it. Now, you got to align yourself with the right people, and I can help you do that. But if you've always been mediocre and you think you're just going to change it yourself, it's going to be very challenging for you to do that. I tried all those shortcuts. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Everybody that's been on here, I appreciate you watching it. I wish you would share it. I hope you come back next Thursday at 7 o'clock. Hopefully our connection will be a little bit better. Maybe I can be out there. But I'm going to go ahead and shut this down and call some folks before I lose my voice. It's been going a long time. Everybody, I really appreciate it. Tune back in. And also, man, please subscribe to my YouTube page. Good Time Tommy. Julie, find me somebody that wants to buy that house out there too. We're about to start it. Everybody have a great night. Have a great weekend. See you, friend. Thank you, Dan Elam. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you for staying up so late doing this. Good night. Tricia, call Michael Burt if you want to change your life. Everybody have a good night.